What's up, guys? It's Tyler and Jarrett here, bringing you our 2K14 wish list and also the 2016 Olympic Games, who we think will be on the team for Team USA. So, what's your wish list about, Jarrett? What do you want to be in the next game?
I have multiple things. Let's see. Well, whatever. I want you to be able to compete in Olympic and the FIBA Championship games, such as like next year there'll be the FIBA World Championships, which I'm pretty sure is a qualifier for the Olympics. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. But I want you to be able to compete them in my player, like they just ask you like, do you want to compete in the Olympics? Do you want to compete in the FIBA Championships?
Oh, that'd be good.
And then, they can just like make up like players, and then you can just compete, or you compete against like computer-generated teams, like Spain or Nigeria. Or
Okay,
whatever.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would like that. What else you got?
Gameplay fixes such as it's hard to get some contact fouls called. Like, sometimes you get hit and it doesn't register as a foul, but it should be.
Yeah.
And some of the 3-point sliders probably, like on certain, like in most game modes, are probably too high. On least like pro, whatever. Such as like quick game or.
Which really, if you wanted to, you can manually.
Yeah, you can do that, but I wish they would like make the default setting, so you don't have to go in and change it.
Yeah.
Especially for something like my team where you can't change sliders.
Yeah. So a couple of mine. Most of mine are just mainly my player because that's more what I play all the time. I want different voices that you can choose from because we've had the same voice ever since I can remember playing my player.
2K10 probably. There's my phone. 2K10, yeah.
And it's been the exact same voice the whole time.
I don't know if he had a voice then, but definitely since 2K11.
Yeah. And I want there to be like different tattoos because every time I make one, I won't add a tattoo because the tattoos are so shit.
Yeah, so we want better, more sophisticated tattoos.
And more custom, like where you put them, more customizable because they give you your main options and you can't move them around. Like in UFC, whenever they first integrated the new tattoos, that was awesome because you can put them wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And then also, I want to see trash talking in the game. Not just in my player, but in like other ones, like where you see them kind of like in an NBA game, you can see them mouthing each other and like see them shaking their hands at each other and just more interactions, I guess.
Maybe it's something related to like the emotion.
Yeah. Well, every time I look at emotion, that's what I feel it should be towards. Like, because you don't see whenever you get a big dunk or anything, you don't see them get excited. It's just like, oh, awesome, I did it. I think they should jump up and down and scream and run around like crackheads because I enjoy that part of the game. Also, flagrant fouls and technical fouls.
Yeah.
I have not seen either one.
The technical foul in there is the defensive 3. And
I mean like actual technicals, like them yelling at the ref, which obviously will be hard to add into that. And then like the flagrant fouls, that should be easier to call.
Like you just go through my fucking hit him on top of the head with both hands. That's like there's no count on the ball. Or if you hit like select or whatever, you can like flagrant foul or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an intentional, but it would like hit him and like knock him off course.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Really, I'd want to see like have the attributes have a bigger effect on it because right now, anytime I add like to speed or anything, I feel like I'm not really adding anything and it feels like a waste of VC. Just because of how it works. I understand that it's not because after you build it up, like you get up to 10 higher than what you have, it works a lot better. But I'd like to see
you mean like incremental ones, like 1?
Yes and no.
Or
like it's hard to judge where you should make that jump to the next level.
Every 5, whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, every 5 would sound good to me because I don't really notice it until around 10. So do you got any more? I know you do.
Yeah, I got plenty more. Like I had some more. I had some of my career editions. There we could do. What was it? Like I want to see more advancement of the social media thingy.
Yes.
Their Twitter knockoff. Like add more legends like Hakeem and Chuck and.
I didn't think about adding more legends. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I mean, just more people, and possibly like 6 months after the game's released. Tell us how you get those people to follow you because there's still a lot of discussion as to what gets certain players to follow you.
Yeah. Because, we've talked about it before, and I've got Magic Johnson because of one way, and then you've got him because of another.
Yeah.
And, I got him because of, I think I got 20 assists one game or something like that. And then you got him because of something else, and it was just, good play or whatever. And then it needs to be set to a certain...
And there are a couple that are set like that, like Michael, if you break his playoff record.
Yeah.
In you 64 points. I'm 99% sure he follows you then. David Robinson, if you score over 71 in the regular season, because that's his highest one, he follows you. And I don't remember, there's a few more. Sean Kemp follows you if you dunk a lot. You get 10 dunks a game or something like that.
I got that. So another thing I want to see is more animations. And what I mean by that is you know how after someone in the NBA will make a three, Russ does the pistols.
He does the pistols. Melo does the three to his whatever.
To the side of his head.
Yeah.
And I want to see more reactions like that, and also more if it's in a crucial situation. Say I hit a game winner over LeBron with my player.
Do you want to do the what is it?
I want him to get his I want him to do something like that, or run to the bench and jump into people, because you don't see that as often. How they, you see it in a real game, but not in 2K. I think that would just be something fun to see. And then also, in my player, whenever you become a franchise player, I think you need to be able to have more say on what goes on.
Yeah, okay, I probably know where you're going with this. When you want to get a trade for someone, you should be able to say, I don't want to trade these people, but you can trade this person to get that person.
Yeah.
There's
in mine, I played for the Heat, and I was okay, I want a center. I want a good center. And I also put a couple power forwards that could play center. I put Zach Randolph. He could play center. Not very well, but he could play it. And they ended up trading Chris Bosh for Zach Randolph, which I personally didn't like. In real life, I'm not a big fan of Chris Bosh, but in the game, he makes those jumpers, and that's how I got 20 assists one game. Because I would just throw it to him, and he'd make a wide-open jumper. So you should be able to say, no, make sure you don't trade this person, but you can trade this person. And have more into it once they finally ask you. Until then, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure.
And like you said with the social media, I would actually like to be more interactive with it.
Be able to tweet, maybe not type in responses, but have a list or something like that.
Yeah, like how in the post game interviews, how you click A, X, Y, or B. You should be able to do something like that to certain people. You should be able to go through and click somebody out.
Yeah, maybe to the 2K guys or whatever.
Well, just to anybody in general, but you can pick who you want to.
It would be the legends, the players, and the celebrities or whatever. Maybe.
Well, anybody, because they script all those.
Yeah,
tweets.
They script those, but
so it'd be easy to just be able. A lot of the tweets you see over and over again.
Yeah, they're repeat.
It's just by a different person, and you could be able to click it, and it gives you different options to say. I think that would just be a neat thing to do.
Yeah. Another cool thing with social media, I don't think you should be able to get into the Legends camp. You're going to pay for them. Those Legends camps, maybe you do well and earn their following, and then a couple games later, they're hey, do you want to come to my camp?
Yeah.
And you can invite. Then maybe you can max it out to maybe two, the same thing, two a year, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's random, what two you're going to get.
Yeah.
And you can decline them. If you're a power forward and you get the Isaiah Thomas one for dribbling, you probably don't want that. You probably want Hakeem or Bill Russell or whatever.
Obviously, you would go with somebody who is.
You would want the ones that were for your position or whatever.
Yeah, who
for your skill set. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I want to see is more interaction before game. I saw online. I was reading a little bit ago that someone was talking about hey, if I see Lupe Fiasco at the side of the game and I'm talking to him, I should have the A, X, B, Y options to say something to him hey, I really like your music, or yeah, I just bought your last album, or hey, you want to come back to the house and chill tonight, or I don't like the image that you're setting off to the people. Well, like something like that, and then like that person tweets you something about that. Like if you come to the house, he was like, "Hey, had a fun time chilling at the crib tonight,"
Yeah.
or whatever. I think that would be neat. It'd be more work for them.
Yeah. And there's no one like in post game. I think you should have more than one question. It's something we've been asking for like a couple of years now. Ever since they introduced it, we should have multiple questions because that's not how a presser works. You have a presser and they answer like 20 questions probably, but obviously you can't do that because it's repetitive. But maybe like 4.
I would go with either 2 or 3, personally.
Okay, I'll just go for 3 then. We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
3.
And something I seen earlier reading, I would actually like to see would be able to pick who you play in My Player instead of like key gaming it, and then they choose for you who the key games are. I mean, you get what I mean?
Yeah, like maybe at the start of the season you pick like.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean at any time in the season.
Okay, so
like if I want to go through and skip 20 games because I think they'll all be easy games, and then play one.
It's not kind of like association. You can just like sim to date. And sim, bam.
Yeah, like that. And to me,
and you can see like what the key games are, so you can skip a key game if you don't want to play it.
Yeah.
But if you want to play it, you can.
The only problem with that is you would have people that would skip the whole. They would sim the whole season, and then just play the playoffs.
Fine.
Which is fine. But
that's what I would do. I would play like 4 or 5 games a season.
Yeah.
Go to playoffs.
I mean, I would too.
After like my first 2 years probably, because I want to have a 20-year guy. I want to be able to get to a scoring record.
Yeah, because it's really hard to do that. Because
you can do it, but good lord, man.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
You play probably like 15 key games a year, or something like 10 to 15. So, and you do that like after your first season, which you probably play at least 82, or somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Almost all the games. What is that like?
I don't know.
15 times 19.
And it also depends.
It's like 190. Okay, what's your 10 times 19? It's 190 games extra. Yeah. I mean, yeah, surely that's like 2.5 seasons more.
Yeah.
But that takes a while. It takes a long time to get to your first season.
Yeah.
The only thing that sweeps it up is the beginning where you only play like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah. And most people do play 12 minutes because they want.
Yep. They want stats.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get those kind of stats like we're getting, and
it's hard to get 60 points and 20 rebounds and 15 assists in 6-minute quarters.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to do that. I've tried it, and that was whenever I first started playing My Player and decided to quit that shit. Also, another thing that would be neat is, you know how like you can buy the NBA Cares package and stuff like that? It would show like little highlights from it. Not, I mean, like while it happens, just to waste time a little bit and kind of do it.
And then I think it'd be cool if we could get like a top 10, NBA top 10 plays of the week.
Oh, that would be neat.
Because, I mean, they do it like in UFC. They don't show the plays, but you have it like, they have like fight of the year, knockout of the year, all that.
Yeah.
If they could just like sim it, because they sim it and they have, I'm sure the footage is on there somehow. In some way or form, that footage is on there. And maybe...
Or at least it should be.
It should be.
And it's not like they can't go through and play certain games and just be like, all right, we want this to be play for this year. And then they can just do it at a different time.
Yeah, and then you have like plays of the week, and then maybe you do like plays of the month. Like out of all, like you have like 40 plays in a month, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like 10 plays in a month.
See, what I would do to just make it easier on them is just do the 10 plays of the month.
Okay,
that would be easy.
Okay.
It would make
we'll do
so
10
much
plays
easier.
of the month, and then we can do. I want 10 plays a month, and then you do 10 plays a year.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty easy to do, and just wrap up the year with the playoffs. I don't know if they would want to do that or not, because the playoffs, which that's another thing that I want to see. Whenever you go into a playoff game right now, it just seems like a normal game with playoff stickers on the floor.
Yeah, it should be like
the atmosphere should be better.
It should be changed. You should be like your emotions should be higher. Like if your emotions are 99,
and the crowd.
It should be cheering the entire time.
Yeah,
especially if you go to like Oakland or Oklahoma City, somewhere that have great crowds.
Yeah,
that'd be nasty.
And then another thing that I think they need to do is just work on the online modes.
Yeah.
Because like, there'd be a lot of times that I've played online, as far as
Yep.
like my player laptop, I'll play that online, and then my stats don't even count because I went through before and scored like 15 points for the team, and it's just been like, no, didn't happen. Whenever it shows my accumulated stats, and I'm sure it does that in other game
Yeah, it
modes
does.
also.
There's a lot of stuff. Or like in my team, when you play and then they quit or lag out or whatever, it counts as a loss towards you.
Yeah, even if you're up by 20.
Yeah, doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, that's benefited me as well, where I've been down by like 20 and they lag out and I win. But yeah,
Like I said, I also want to see more. I said that earlier. More interactions during the game, whether it be like with the coaches, like you run up and talk to the coach, or like say you're in New York and you're playing against them. You got Spike Lee jumping.
Yeah.
You got him jumping up on the sidelines, and then you look over and you're giving him the choke signal.
Yeah.
Like Reggie did.
Cool Reggie.
I would like to see that. Really. I want to see more interactions with the game. Because I think that's what people want. Because right now they just feel like they're going in, playing basketball, and that's it. Because, I mean, people were excited whenever we got the interviews. Because they were like, oh, this is awesome. We get to interact.
There's some sort of interaction now.
But the only problem is people always want more. So once they started that, you got to add more into
You
it.
got to keep advancing.
And with the social media, they
Yeah.
took it to another step.
Another step.
And then they got to take another step. And eventually they'll have to take another step. And there's no way to continue doing that. And something else I read about earlier was someone wanted to like be able to, you get a salary along with the VC, and you can use the salary on like a house,
Yeah.
and a car, and stuff like that. And then you drive to the games, which has been seen before. It was in I think NBA. I can't remember if it's 07 or 09. There was one that's called NBA, whatever year it was, the show. I think it was 07.
Yeah, I think it was.
And you got to do that. Like, you got to pick a house and pick a car. And to me, that was like the start of my player.
Yeah.
Because it was where you were the single person.
Weren't
playing.
you like a player though, like Kobe or LeBron or something like that?
No, you were like you were called the JUCO kid.
Okay.
Like, it was you coming out of junior college, and you had to try and make a name for yourself. But the way they did it was kind of jacked up. Whenever you got on a team, you was on an all-rookie team, and it was just a big mess. And I would like to see something like that, but it's once you get into stuff like that, you get away from this is basketball. It's not so much of a basketball game as it is kind of like an RPG game, where you get to choose everything about it.
Yeah.
Which I think would still be fun to see.
There's some my team stuff that I want fixed.
Such as?
Not the gameplay, but like the amount of VC it takes to like buy players. I understand when they made my player or my team, it was meant you're not supposed to have all gold lineups, even though that's what everybody does.
Yeah.
You were not supposed to have all gold lineups. That I'm pretty sure they said that like in one of those reveals or whatever. Like, this is designed to limit the salary is designed to limit my gold lineups.
It is.
It was. I mean, yeah, like I have like a $23.50 like VC salary every time I play.
Yeah. I mean,
and I have all gold lineup.
Yeah.
At least my starting five is.
And what they want is people to play with lesser people and just actually. It's meant to have more fun, but what people do, people take it too far. People just want to go in and win, and that's it. Because there's people that are so competitive that are just like, I'm going to win no matter what it takes.
So, yeah, there's stuff like that. And then I was like, well, if you cut the salary down and then maybe institute a cap, such as for like the 7th seed, you can only have the max salary for your team can be like $350 or $300, whatever.
Yeah.
And as you advance every seed, you can up it by like 100 or 150 or whatever.
Yeah. I would understand that completely.
Yeah. And then maybe make the exhibition games worth more VC because, I mean...
It does seem really hard to just get VC in general.
Yeah.
I would like to see where you could move up, like bump up how much BC you get each game. If they're gonna stick with because compared to skill points, I feel like you get a lot more skill points than I feel like skill points are worth more than BC is. If that makes any sense. I saw another thing where someone said that they want it to just be where you shouldn't have to pay for accessories.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that, but all the accessories that I have bought on the game have been
attribute boosting accessories.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Ugh.
But all the ones that I've bought have boosted attributes, and I think that's worth paying for to me.
Yeah.
Worth using my VC.
That's fair.
But the ones where people just want a sleeve that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, maybe the 2K
just
sleeve.
a plain color 2K sleeve. Let them have that, and just don't add any extra. And the wristbands.
Stuff like that doesn't doesn't do anything
that doesn't add anything. I think they should be able to have which ankle braces add durability. You get what I mean. There's certain things that I like to have on my player. I wear wristbands all the time for absolutely no reason. I've just had them on for 3 years and.
Oh, they were taking off.
Yeah, it's just what I do because I feel naked without them, and so I feel like my player. I try to make mine as close to me as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'd be easier to do that without having to pay because I'm not going to pay for wristbands that don't add anything in the game, personally.
There's one more thing about my team I wanted to add before we go on to the Olympic team stuff. Maybe the historic legends would be worth more. Like bronze is worth 500 still, silver's worth 1,000, and gold's worth 2,000. So that way, there's actually some incentive to get gold players or to sell gold players or whatever.
Yeah.
Because right now there's not. I mean, it's they're all worth 500. Why would I sell that? If I had David Robinson, why would I do that?
Yeah, I agree. Because it's the same thing if you buy a player for so much and then turn around and sell him for so much. Why would you even buy somebody or get a pack if it's just going to be worth that much? You would just keep him and then have him as a reserve, I guess. Another thing that I want to see is crew mode. I want to see it back.
We never played it, but just to stop maybe the online community from bashing 2K.
There's so many people that see it and they're just like, "There's no crew mode. This sucks." And I've seen people that hate the game because there's no crew mode.
Yeah, I get it that you like to play with your friends and you can't now. They took it away.
Which I mean, you can still play. It's just.
You can't play, but they want to play in a game against people with their my players. And you can do it blacktop kind of, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same. You can't make your jerseys.
Yeah.
Can't make a team name, whatever. I understand that. So, crew mode.
And then
we support.
There's another thing, I read the guy that I actually seen the crew mode thing from where I seen first where it started complaining about wanting it back. He said that he just wants to game with his friends. And in addition to it, he wants to build his own arenas for it, which I think would be a neat addition if you're going to bring it back. Jerseys, shoes, accessories, a city, a coach, and a mascot for the crew mode. And I think those would all be neat things to do if you're going to bring it back. If you're going to bring it back, make it worth something to people.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the
2016 Olympic team. Who do you think is going to be?
All right, so these are I'll list the locks first. All right, so we got Kevin Durant, LeBron, CP3, Dwight. Those are my 4 locks that are most 99% sure, barring injury, will be in there for sure. Then I've got D Rose, Kyrie, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin, and DeMarcus. Boogie Cousins.
Okay, so here's mine. I got LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Dwight. Those are going to be the lock-ins, like you said, barring injury. And then I've got Melo. I got Kevin Love. Tyson Chandler, maybe. I'm not. He's a toss-up. Blake Griffin, Darren Williams, and Derrick Rose. And also, I have Kyrie Irving. And then it's kind of a toss-up for me between Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh because it could be either one. I'm not sure. I'd prefer to see Anthony Davis just because I like him better as a player. That's our 2016 Olympic team.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Peace out.